parents of an 18-year-old girl receive a frightening phone call that their daughter had been shot.
Hello. What's going on? Okay, for?
My daughter.
Curious. How old's your daughter?
She's 18.
She's an adult? Well, how tall is Samantha?
About 5'5", 150 maybe.
Color hair?
Blonde.
Color eyes?
Blue. She has braces. Tattoos.
Tattoos of?
She's got this on her left arm, her right arm.
Butterfly on right arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got
That'll be,
the word believe on her left arm.
the butterfly on the right arm will be plenty. Because I don't see very many people
Yeah.
with butterflies
we
on their
have
arm.
matching.
Yeah, they're missing.
We can't find her. We got a call yesterday saying she was shot in the head, thrown in the trunk of a car, and they took off.
And who called you to tell you this?
I got a call from somebody that.
So you have no idea who it was?
I haven't seen her since August. Talked to her last middle of September, but he just talked to her last night, Saturday night. My ex-husband talked.
Your ex-husband talked to her
Saturday
night.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got a ride over.
Once she turned 18, Samantha moved out of her father John's home. She struggled with addiction and began hanging out with a bad crowd. Samantha was described as athletic, outgoing, outspoken, and the life of the party. However, shortly before her death, Samantha started shutting out her parents more and spent more time with her friends. On November 5th, 2018, Samantha's father, John, told the Akron, Ohio police that they received a phone call that Samantha had been shot and placed in the trunk of a car. John said that he had ordered Samantha a taxi to a home on Leland Street, which is where she often spent time with friends. He said he knew that Samantha had gotten to the house between 2-3 a.m. Samantha's mom, Johnny Jackson, wrote a missing person report. Johnny gave the police a description of Samantha. She was described as a girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, and had a tattoo of a butterfly on her arm. Johnny also had a matching butterfly tattoo. John was able to tell the police that his niece, Haley, had contacted him about Samantha's possible death. Haley hadn't been at the home, but heard the story from a man named Marshall who had actually witnessed the shooting. The police went over to the house on Leland Street. It was an old and vacant house. No one was permanently living there at the time, but people often used the house to squat and hang out. The police entered the home. Inside, they found evidence of a shooting. Blood, bloody clothing, and the carpet had been ripped out. There was also a burned pile in the back of the house, and it was clear that some of the evidence had been burned there. The blood was collected and sent in for testing. The police were able to track Marshall down and asked him to come in for an interview.
About something that happened over on Lillian Street back in November 4th. All right, why don't you tell me about what happened that night?
Sam had been trying to get a ride over to the house for a few hours. I didn't feel like driving anymore to go pick her up, so I didn't pick her up that night. And a few hours later, she showed up from an Uber, I'm guessing, that her dad had.
All right, now when you say the house, what's the address?
Lillian.
Okay.
half hour, 45 minutes or so, Danny showed up and knocked on the back door. I answered the door.
Now, how do you know Danny?
Just in passing.
Do you know him from the house?
Yeah.
And you know what his last name is?
Amby.
Okay, was he by himself?
No, he was with Tony.
Okay.
Is what I was told her name was. And that one black guy that I had never seen before.
What's he look like?
William.
Okay, William. All right, what's he look like?
Tall, about 6'2", 6'3".
Okay, so you let him in, and then what happens?
Sam came downstairs looking kind of distraught, and she looked at me. I'm like, then go out the back door. Go out the back door. If you know, she kind of looked like she was panicking, so I'm like, leave.
Right.
But she went to the basement, and 2 or 3 minutes later, Danny and Tony came downstairs and went down to looking around the house for her, went down to the basement. I heard a commotion.
Now, did they say they were looking for her?
No, but you could
tell they were searching.
They were searching.
Okay.
And I heard a little bit of a commotion, and then Sam came upstairs first, and she had like a little bit of a bloody nose.
Okay.
And 5, maybe 10 minutes later, Sam came running down the stairs. Danny was right behind her, and by the time she got to the 4th or 5th stair down from the living room floor, he shot her in the back of the head by about 8 to 12 inches away from her head.
Okay, is Sam alive?
It sounded she was making noises, but in my past experiences, it sounded more like death gargles, your body's shutting down.
Okay. So then what happened?
And then Yoshi and William picked Sam up and carried her out the back door. I don't know if they put her in a trunk, in a car, in an SUV. I did not see the vehicle.
Okay. Who cleaned up?
From what I can tell, Yoshi was starting to. As we were coming downstairs, Yoshi was starting to move the furniture out of the living room.
Okay.
So they were already gone?
Yeah, Danny.
When he was cleaning up?
Yeah, they were already done.
Okay. What was the beef with Sam and
I
Danny?
couldn't tell you. I honestly, that's what's been puzzling me and what I've been trying to figure out, honestly, because I don't see anything in the world that Sam could have done to warrant that out of nowhere.
Since all this happened, do you know where they took Sam?
No, if I did, she'd already be returned to the family.
Do you think, with the nature of her wounds, that she would have survived?
Honestly, no.
Marshall seemed very shaken and upset about what had happened. He told the police that he didn't know why they had been arguing, but didn't believe Samantha was alive. The police received a phone call from a man who said that Danny and Tony were at his apartment. He was afraid because they were bragging about killing someone and had been waving guns around. When the police arrived, Danny and Tony were outside near the vehicle that they had been driving. Danny and Tony both had guns on them, and Danny had a bag of needles. They were taken to the police station and separated for questioning.
Have a seat there. Well, first of all, let me ask you this: what's your relationship with Danny?
He's my boyfriend.
Okay, how long you guys been going out together?
Well, we just made official like a couple of days, but we've known each other for a while.
So what have you and Danny been doing the last couple of days since you've been officially together? Hey, were you with him on Saturday?
Yeah.
What did you guys do Saturday?
Well, we stayed on Warren, and we were out here. We visited his sister Lynn.
Oh, here's the thing, Tony. There's a girl that's missing, and we have reason to believe that Danny is involved in her disappearance. We have strong reason to believe he's involved in her disappearance.
He couldn't do that.
Why couldn't he do it?
Because he's not that type of person.
Okay, but like I said, we have a lot of information pointing to his involvement in this girl's disappearance. So what I want from you is to know if you've ever seen this girl before. And think hard before you answer, because we want to know if you've seen her. Okay, and you've never seen her before. That's true.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Danny's got some problems. Big problems. Okay? I'm going to be straight with you. So if you were with him the whole time, you know what my next leap is.
Well, that's ridiculous because he was with me. We were in Warren. So wait. So you think Danny had something to do with her disappearance?
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
But that's ridiculous because he was.
It's not
with me
ridiculous.
and-
Are you really ready to do that for him?
What are you talking about? Ready to do that? That's the truth.
Think hard, Tony.
I am thinking. I'm clearly alert. No, I've never seen that girl, and I'm sorry she's missing, but Danny was with me.
Well, here's the thing. Okay? I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but we have reason to believe that he hurt this girl critically. Okay? Let me tell you about the house where it happened at. We've talked to people that's been at the house, that knows this girl and that knows Danny.
Who's these people?
They were all at this house where this girl disappeared from. In fact, something bad happened to her at the house. You know why we know that? Because the guys, we've already talked to him all day. We spent all day talking to him. And he gave us detailed accounts of what happened at that house. So Tony, why we're talking to you is because you have to think hard about how you want to handle this, because if you're going to sit here and vouch for him, that can get you caught, that can get you in trouble.
No, I understand, but I'm telling you, he was with me, and he was with me at my apartment.
The police didn't believe her and said that Danny was involved with Samantha's disappearance. Tony said Danny wasn't capable of hurting anyone. With her denials, the police stopped the interview. Danny was interviewed next.
Danny Hammond, correct? Okay, I'm going to read your rights, okay?
I want my attorney.
Okay, can I read it to you anyway?
Yeah.
For the record? You have the right to remain silent. You understand this, right?
Yes.
Anything you say can only be used against you in the court of law. You understand this, right?
Yes.
You have the right to talk to your lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. You've indicated that you want to talk to your lawyer. Correct?
Do what?
You've indicated that you want to talk to your lawyer?
Correct. I don't know what it's about, but I still want my attorney. I know that I do this.
All right. I don't know what to do about your...
I got 11 numbers. Give me my attorney.
All right. Danny, I mean, while you're here, can we cover, at least cover something?
You can talk, right? I ain't gonna say nothing.
You mind if we get some swabs from you?
Like I said, you can talk, right? I ain't gonna say nothing.
I mean, you mind if we do the swab thing?
Yeah.
Take a minute.
Court order.
All right, well. All right.
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I got 11 numbers, 23 years in the system. I ain't got nothing to say to y'all. Without my attorney present, nobody else sitting here, I ain't got nothing to say.
But he asked for a lawyer and refused to give his DNA. Next, the police were able to find Yoshi, whose real name is Dylan Brown. Dylan had been arrested on some other warrants that had been out for him. Dylan explained that he had met Samantha a few days earlier and really connected to her. He appeared very emotional and began to explain what happened.
So, are you familiar with the house on Lillian?
Yes.
Do you know Samantha? She hangs out at that house, about 18 years old.
I know ASAM, she doesn't go there.
Do you know Danny Hamby?
What's going on?
Well, somebody's missing from that house. We have reason to believe that she's killed. So, this is serious stuff. trying to see if you got some information that can help us find this girl. Do you know Sam?
I met her a couple of days ago.
You okay? Don't look at me. Help us. This is serious. Did something bad happen to her?
I don't know.
Dylan. She's a young girl, man.
No.
What happened to her? Help us. Help us. There's only one thing that makes a person get this emotional. That's if they saw something bad.
I met her a couple of days ago when we were talking. We were having a good time. And I don't know why.
Don't know why what.
Why I feel so close to her.
So you guys, well, you're close to the same age, right? You felt a connection with her? Because you maybe had the same problems growing up and stuff like that?
Probably.
It's tough, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're here.
I've been fine up to this point. Not talking about it, not thinking about it. I mean, I was thinking about it, but
What were you thinking about?
just that this person that could have been a potentially good friend, or more maybe, I don't know, is not going to be that person.
I'm not interested.
What part did he play in this?
Before yesterday, I never saw him, never met him. He apparently knew who I was. He knocked on the door, tried to come through the door, but Sam had it closed and locked with the music blaring. And so when we got the door open, she went downstairs. I guess his girl or someone came in with her. They were yelling at each other, arguing, and I got Sam to go towards the direction of downstairs. And while she was on the stairs, turning that corner to go down the rest of the stairs, he followed her and held the gun up, shot. I don't know where he hit her. He only grazed her. She fell on the ground at the bottom of the stairs. I had to carry her out to the trunk, put her in the trunk.
Did he make you do that? Did he make you carry her out to the trunk?
I wasn't not going to. He left, came back into the room, said, "You look like a strong man, come here." I got all the furniture out of the living room, tore off the carpet, cleaned up the wooded floor underneath.
Where's the carpet at?
Gone,
On where?
burned.
Do you know where he took her to?
Nope, he just said that he had a spot.
Was he by himself?
He had that girl with him and his lieutenant.
Who's his lieutenant?
I don't know.
He a white guy in front of him? He's a white, black dude? Nickname or anything like you?
Marsha was getting pretty upset at him because he was downstairs the whole time. And dudes came downstairs. Marsha goes, "You need to get your garden on."
It was clear to the police that Dylan had helped because he was afraid of what they would do to him. William was tracked down and was questioned. He downplayed his involvement, but he eventually described the area where they had taken Samantha's body.
Yeah, you can understand our concerns, obviously, mostly for the family. I think, and I think you're probably feeling that way too a little bit. Whatever this girl's relationship with her mom and dad, she has a mom and dad, and they want to be able to bury the kid. We know she's dead. I want you to try at least think about, like, where are you guys?
I remember going, backing out and going up the hill. Actually, it's just the way that I was laying down on their back.
We were like actually physically laid down, or you were like just kind of relaxing?
No,
Like this?
Yeah.
You were all laid out.
They want me to lay low. Like, I was scrunched up, I was down, head below the window level.
Tony tell you, this is what we're gonna go do.
No, I thought they were gonna be killing. I thought they were gonna kill me. Too. I thought they wanted me to lay down in the back and they wanted me to see where we're going, and I really thought that was it for me, really.
Was it a real rural area? Was there a lot of
it was getting more rural. I remember just a lot of, before we got to the place with the fenced off area where he pulled in, where he wanted to just take her body to. I just remember like a lot of taller trees. And when I popped up to get out of the car, I popped the trunk, and helped him, carry her off. Probably like said about 100 yards in. Mm-hmm. There's like a chain. Yeah, that hung in front of the road.
So just a single line going back there?
Yeah, exactly. And he was told that when he leaves them, you couldn't really see like there's a road or it was just all.
Yeah, so
it was more gravel.
I'm not saying you have to be like an artist here, but maybe can you give us an idea of what, like, if you're looking at this place with the road, like say the main road.
I'm a pretty good artist, actually.
That would be helpful. Say draw the main road that you come off of, and then what the road looks like as you're looking at it. Okay, so that's the gate, or the chain.
This is coming into the.
That's what you first thing you see?
Yeah, this here. Yeah, and there was actually.
So like a sign like keep out or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a couple almost deteriorated signs on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just a bunch of, like I said, there's a lot of leaves that are falling down. So, and there was a tree line right here.
Yeah, so you had to walk up a hill a little bit?
Yeah. I remember slipping in the mud and everything. It was kind of like almost like.
The new Franklin Township Police contacted the Akron police and said that they had found a body. It was Samantha. The area where she was found was an exact match to what William had described. The blood that had been found in the house was in fact Samantha's. The police were able to arrest Danny Hamby, Tony, Dylan, and William. Danny pled guilty to murder, gross abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and having a weapon under disability. He was sentenced to 24 years to life in prison. Tony was convicted of attempted kidnapping, gross abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. She was sentenced to 16 years in prison. William was convicted of attempted kidnapping, gross abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. He was sentenced to 10 years. Dylan was sentenced to 5 years of probation for obstruction of justice. I'm still not clear what the exact motive was for murdering an 18-year-old. However, it seemed like Danny and Tony saw they were badasses that could intimidate people. I believe that they intimidated Dylan into helping them, but I think William was more involved. He should have received a longer sentence. Samantha had issues, but what teenagers don't? She wanted her independence, and that's understandable. So, young agents, write down what you think about this case. Thanks for watching this episode, and see you in the next one. Bye.